Hey everyone! If you've been diving into Kingshot, you probably already know that heroes are basically the heart and soul of the game. Honestly, getting your hands on the best heroes can make everything so much easier. Your progress will feel like a walk in the park instead of a grind fest. But here's the million-dollar question. Which heroes should you actually focus on? Don't worry, I've got you covered. In this video, we're breaking down the ultimate Kingshot Heroes tier list so you know exactly who's worth investing your time and resources into. I'll explain why some heroes just crush it while others, well, let's just say you might want to skip them for now. Stick around and by the end, you'll be ready to build the dream team that will carry you through every challenge the game throws at you. I'm quickly moving on to the video and I'm ranking heroes in Kingshot. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of tier list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching.
My friends, only 0.1% of viewers subscribe. If you like this type of content, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you in advance for your support.
The heroes in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Far, Seth, Edwin, Forrest, and Olive. Alright, let's be real, C-tier heroes in Kingshot are kinda like that one friend who always shows up to the party, but somehow ends up in the corner scrolling on their phone. They're there, they exist, but you're not really sure why. Take Fahd, for example, Sisav for example. This guy can boost your march speed by a whopping 100% when you're out solo hunting, which sounds cool at first, but then you realize his damage per second, yeah, that's the damage he deals over time, is super weak, and his support skills are basically just meh. So if you're heading into conquest or arena battles, Fahd is not your guy. Honestly, compared to the super rare heroes with their shiny stats and crazy skills, Fahd just can't keep up. Then there's Seth, the so-called tank of the C-tier crew. He's actually pretty solid early on with his high defense, and hey, he even boosts your iron output and mining speed by 25%, so he's not all bad. But once you get your hands on some higher rarity heroes, like super rare or super rare ones, Seth's charm kinda fades away. His stats and conquest skills just don't stack up. So if you're playing mid or late game, Seth feels more like a training wheel than a real tank. Edwin is the resource gathering nerd of the bunch, boosting quarry output and stone mining speed by 25%. Not to mention, he has some decent area of effect attacks and crowd control, which makes him okay in arena until you upgrade to better heroes. But again, when the big dogs, those super rare and super rare heroes come into play, Edwin just doesn't bring the same heat. He's good for a while, but don't expect him to carry you through the tough battles. Forrest is probably the most tragic hero on this list. He's supposed to help with sawmill output and wood gathering speed by 25%, but honestly, his stats and abilities are so bad, he might as well be a walking, talking bug to avoid. Compared to the higher tier heroes, Forrest is definitely the one you'll want to bench as soon as possible, unless you're just collecting heroes for the nostalgia. Finally, Olive tries her best. She buffs mill output and resource gathering speed by 25%, and her area of effect attacks are decent enough to keep her somewhat useful in the arena early on. But just like the others, once you get a taste of those powerful super rare and super rare heroes with their insane stats and conquest skills, Olive feels like a polite thanks but no thanks. So yeah, the C-tier squad in Kingshot has a few bright spots, but overall, they're the backup dancers to the real stars of the show. The heroes in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Chenko, Yeonwoo, Amane, Howard, Quinn, Diana, and Gordon. Alright, let's dive into the B-tier heroes of Kingshot. Think of them as the solid middle children of the hero family, not the absolute stars, but definitely not the ones getting ignored at the reunion either. First up, Chenko. She's a big deal when it comes to offensive rallies, thanks to her nice 25% lethality buff. If you're upgrading your heroes, Chenko is one you want to push to 4 stars early because she adds serious punch to your team's offense. Sure, she's not the top damage dealer in Conquest or Arena, and she can't quite match up to those super rare heroes with their fancy stats and skills, but she's a reliable workhorse in the meantime. Then there's Yeonwoo, who's like the multitasker of the group. She not only boosts your research speed by 15%, which is huge for keeping your empire growing fast, but she also brings that same 25% lethality buff to offensive rallies. Basically, she's a must-have SR hero to upgrade early on if you want your progress to stay smooth. In Arena and Conquest, she's decent enough until you get a couple of those big SSR guns on your roster. But just like Chenko, she doesn't quite reach the heights of those super rare heroes with their insane stats and conquest abilities. Amane is an interesting one. She's got that 25% attack buff that every offensive rally loves, plus a whopping 50% boost to healing speed in your infirmary. That's clutch if you're in those long battles where keeping your troops healed quickly is key. However, her lethality stat isn't as strong as Chenko's or Yonwoo's, so in the damage department she's playing Shaun Fiddle. Also, she's not the best choice for Conquest or Arena compared to other super rare heroes, and yep, like the rest, she falls short compared to the super rare elite. Howard is the guy you want standing guard. He's probably the best infantry hero that isn't SSR, with solid defensive buffs that make him a great garrison leader or joiner. Thanks to his high defense and decent area of effect damage, he's actually pretty good in PvP and arena scenarios. Still, when you start comparing him to SSR heroes, Howard just can't compete with their crazy stats and expedition skills, but for a non-SSR, he's a solid pick. Quinn might not be the flashiest, but he's steady and reliable. As an offensive rally leader, his defense and damage buffs on expeditions make him a valuable asset. Plus, his single target damage is pretty decent for archers in PvP and conquest battles. If you're looking to star up a super rare hero without too much fuss, Quinn is one of the easiest to upgrade. Just don't expect him to outshine those super rare heroes with their monster stats and skills. Diana brings the AoE damage that every PvP and Conquest player dreams of. She's one of the best super rare heroes for those fights and throws in some nice perks like reduced stamina costs and speed boosts for marches and rallies. However, oddly enough, she's usually lower on the priority list when it comes to upgrading among the super rares. Still, don't sleep on her. Just keep in mind she won't match the sheer power of those super rare legends. Last but not least, Gordon. He's a classic meta pick for Garrison because of his sweet 25% boost to health points and attack. But outside of that, he doesn't really shine in Conquest or PvP thanks to pretty lackluster skills. And yep, you guessed it, SSR heroes still outclass him in every possible way when it comes to stats and skills. So if you've got Gordon hanging around, he's great for holding the fort, but don't expect him to carry the offense. There you have it, your B-tier heroes, the dependable squad who keep things ticking along until those shiny super rare heroes arrive to steal the show. The heroes in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Jabel, Helga, Hilda, Eric, Jaeger, and Saul. Alright, let's talk about the A-tier heroes in Kingshot, the ones who really make a difference without feeling totally out of reach, especially if you're playing free-to-play, F2P. Starting with Jabel, she's basically the queen of F2P SSR heroes. Seriously, she's the easiest super rare hero to max out without spending a dime, and she shines as a cavalry hero in pretty much every game mode. Her rally lead potential is solid thanks to her chance-based buffs, though once you hit Generation 3, she starts to lose her sparkle because Petra takes the spotlight as the superior cavalry option. Next up, Helga. She's a powerhouse when it comes to offensive rallies, packing some nice lethality and attack buffs. Plus, her passive and area of effect skills make her a beast in PvP. The downside, she's super pay to win, P2W, so if you're strictly F2P, she might as well be a unicorn you can only dream about, and even then, she gets outscaled pretty fast by Amadeus, so don't get too attached if you manage to snag her. Hilda is your go-to girl for defense and PvP thanks to her buffs and healing abilities. She really shines in those tight battles where staying alive is half the fight. However, if you're an early gen player and strictly F2P, she might not be the best use of your resources because there are better cavalry options coming in Gen 3, so while she's definitely meta, she's also somewhat skippable depending on your playstyle and roster. Eric is one of those heroes who stands out because of his high stats, often making him a better pick than lower generation heroes. He's a meta favorite for a garrison thanks to his overpowered defensive buffs and debuffs. But here's the catch, he's not the most F2P friendly option. Zoe is better for that. And honestly, spending money on Eric isn't really worth it. Plus, he's almost irrelevant in the arena since his debuffs only affect enemy infantry, which limits his overall utility there. Jaeger is a solid archer hero for garrison defense, with great defensive buffs that come in handy. He also performs well in PvP thanks to his high base stats and useful skills. The downside? He's pretty P2W, since you can't get him from the hero roulette. And he's not a huge upgrade over heroes like Saul or Marlin, so if you're chasing big leaps in power, Jaeger might not be the one to carry you. Last but not least, Saul, the construction king. He gives you a 15% boost to construction speed and cuts construction costs by 15%, which is huge for speeding up your base development. On top of that, He has the best growth bonuses in the entire game and is pretty friendly for F2P players since he's available through Hero Roulette. Just remember, you'll want to get him to 4 stars to unlock those max growth perks. The downside, his stats are kinda weak, so he gets outscaled super fast as you level up and face tougher opponents. So yeah, A tier is where you get some real bang for your buck, especially if you're balancing F2P goals with strong gameplay. These heroes aren't just pretty faces, they pack solid skills and buffs that can seriously tilt the battlefield in your favor. The heroes in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Amadeus, Petra, Marlin, and Zoe. Now we're getting into the real MVPs of Kingshot, the S tier heroes. These are the game changers, the ones that make rallies hit harder, defenses stand stronger, and your enemies seriously question their life choices. Let's start with Amadeus, who might as well come with a golden crown. He's the best infantry hero in the game, and what's wild is that he keeps that title even as new generations of heroes roll out. With massive health points and strong offensive buffs, Amadeus isn't just good, he's meta-defining. He even gives a bonus to health and lethality just by existing in your collection. The only catch? He's the poster child for pay to win. If you're F2P, getting him fully starred up is like chasing a rainbow with no pot of gold. Next up, we've got Petra, who's basically the F2P dream come true. She's available from the Hero Roulette, which means you don't need to mortgage your soul to get her. And here's the best part, she's the top offensive cavalry hero for a long time. Her expedition skill and widget buffs make her a beast of a rally leader. But, and it's a big but, her skills are all chance based, meaning sometimes she goes full berserker, and other times she kind of just vibes. So while she's meta, her inconsistency might leave you biting your nails during tight battles. Then there's Marlin, the archer god of early and mid game. He dishes out some of the best area of effect damage and crowd control in the game with his conquest skills. As an offensive rally leader, he's got it all, damage, buffs, and those shiny widget boosts. However, like Petra, he suffers from chance-based skill syndrome, and to make things tougher, he's not F2P friendly. His shards only drop from the Hall of Heroes, so unless you're swiping your card, maxing him out will take some serious grinding, or luck. Last but never least, Zoe, the ultimate tank for F2P players. She's also available from the Hero Roulette, and she holds her ground like a brick wall all the way up to Generation 5. Her ability to heal 40% of her health once per battle makes her a nightmare to take down, and her widget even buffs attack on defense, making her perfect for garrisons. Offensively, she's not your best infantry option, but defensively, she's top tier. If you're building a stronghold as a F2P player, Zoe is your go-to, reliable, sturdy, and ready to outlast the chaos. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.